We had a visitor here last night in Somerset, and his name is Jack Frost. He was extremely busy, sprinkling his white powder absolutely everywhere he went. So when we woke up this morning, it was actually pretty cold out there. But not only has Jack Frost been extremely busy, we've also ourselves been extremely busy here at Eden Audio. Over the last week I've been updating the websites to try and make them look a little bit more attractive, to try to bring them up to date. We've got two websites, you may have noticed. We've got eden-audio.com. Now that's the website that we started off with when we first started up the business. But when we moved back to the UK, we also set up a website, edenaudio.uk. So as I say, we've been updating the two websites to try and make them look a little bit more attractive. So if you'd like to have a look at those websites and give us a little bit of feedback in your comments down below to see what you think of them. I think I've done quite a good job on them, but I'd like to know what you think of them anyway. Not only that, we've also had some new products arrive here at Eden Audio. As I mentioned in an upload that I'd recently made, we was going to be having some more new stuff from M2 Tech, and I'm pleased to say that we've got the Jolpin III arrived. So in a minute, we're going to be having a little look at that. And also, I haven't quite showed you yet the dual turntable that also has arrived, the CS-526. So I'm going to give you a little look at that as well at the same time. If you looked at the two uploads that I've just made, the uploads of 80s music, you would have noticed I've made one of Al Jarreau that was done on the CS-440, the entry-level turntable. And the last one I made was, let me think of who it was. I can't think of who off the top of my head who it was. But the last recording I made was made from the CS-526. Now if you listen to those two recordings side by side, I think it's quite clear to hear the obvious difference between the two turntables. The CS-440, when you hear that compared to the CS-526, sounds a lot more brittle sounding, a lot more harsher, thinner, less bass. But when you switch over to the CS-526, it's really noticeable that that harshness and that brittleness has gone. As I say, I'm going to look at that turntable with you in a little bit more detail right now. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Let's jump right into it and let's take a look at the dual CS-526. As we can see, it's finished in this rather attractive black matte finish. It looks really, really nice, I feel, against the contrast of the chrome. We have a chrome platter, chrome tone arm, chrome branding, and of course we have the chrome selector here. This is where we choose what speed we want to play our records. There we can see we've got 33 RPM for LPs. We have 45 RPM for singles and 12-inch singles. And of course we have 0 for off in the off position. As you can see on this turntable, as I usually do, I fit a Acromat from the Funk Firm. On this particular table, it's the 3mm version in white. I think it looks really, really attractive. As I say, once again, it makes a fantastic contrast against the matte black finish of the dual. So there we have the branding. We can see it's a semi-automatic belt-driven turntable. It's a bit different to the CS-440 that I've also got, where that's a fully automatic turntable. This one you do have to do a little bit of work of yourself, but you will find once the record reaches the end of being played, it won't continue. Say for example you forget about it, you go away, make yourself a cup of tea or read a newspaper or whatever, and you forget about it, and you leave your record going round and round and round and round for hours on a completely manual turntable. This won't happen on the dual. What will happen once the stylus reaches the end of the turntable, you'll find it will stop, which is quite good for us that are, as I say, a little bit on the forgetful side when we walk away and we forget to come back and we leave our record spinning round and round for the next 24 hours till we come back and we notice that we've left it on, to our horror. There we have the arm lever. Obviously that's quite obvious what that does. That raises and lowers the arm. You'll notice on the Dual, again like the CS-440, it does come with a stylus. This is a kind of like a gift from Dual, I would say. It's kind of, I view it as, thanks for buying our turntable, here's a free stylus for you. It's the Autophon OM10. They retail for around about £50, I believe. It's just a cartridge to get you going. It's okay sounding. The problem I've got is with the system that I've got the turntable connected up to. When you've got such revealing speakers such as the Aurelia XLs, it does tend to show up the limitations of the Autophon cartridge. As I say, it's okay to get you going. Again, you can upgrade it in the future to the OM20 or the OM30 if you've got a little bit more money to spend. You'll probably make a decent difference. As I say, it's okay to get you going, but don't expect too much of it. It's okay. It's an okay sounding cartridge. So moving along, there's the tone arm. So it does need a lightweight cartridge on it. You can't put heavy cartridges on this particular arm. There we see the anti-bias. That's where we adjust the anti-bias. Obviously at the back there we have the counterweight. We set that. That's quite easy to set up. Just let the arm float. Then we dial in whatever we need. We just need to check what the weight is of the cartridge that we've installed on. So for example, on the case of the Autophon it's 15, 1.5. So we just set that up there. So I'm tapping the top of the lid with the camera. We just set that up to 1.5 grams and away we go. I think I'm just under there. I think I'm at 1.4. They recommend sort of 1.4, 1.5 for this particular cartridge. So it's all fairly easy stuff to do. It comes more or less set up like that for you straight out the factory. That's it. Then that is the Dual CS-526. So it's a very attractive turntable. It's near the top end of their range of turntables. There's a big difference. I'm going to demonstrate it to you once again so you can hear for yourself the difference over the CS-440. So it's not as brittle sounding, it's more refined sounding. It's not a turntable that's going to blow you away sonically. You're not going to be sort of picking your jaw up off the floor once you hear it. It's a nice, decent, well balanced sound. Nothing's overemphasized. It's not brittle sounding. It's not boomy in the bass. It has got that dual house sound, which I'm beginning to notice, that the two turntables do seem to have a house sound about them. Very well balanced. As I said, you don't get no heavy thumping bass on these turntables. It's sort of, they're quite light and breezy sounding, I'll describe them as anyway. Anyway, that's how it looks. So it's very, very attractive there. It's a gorgeous looking turntable. Get a nice solid lid with it as well. It does, as I say, come with a felt mat from the factory. So I've just changed it over there to a Funk Foam one. Let's have a look at the rear of the turntable, shall we? Let's have a look. Here then is the rear of the Dual. There we have the hinges of the turntable. There we have the rear of the tone arm, the counterweight. As I say, it's very, very easy to set up. And one of the big differences you'll notice between this turntable, the higher end Duals and the entry level Duals, is that the entry level Duals come fitted with sort of cheapo analogue cables already fitted for them. So you've got no option of changing them over to suit your tastes. I know some of you don't think it's necessary anyway, but some of us like to experiment with cables, different types of cables, to see if we can get a different type of tone to the sound. And you have that option with this particular Dual. There we see the analogue outputs, your RCA, there we are, left and right. As I say, you have the option of choosing whichever cables you would like to use, whichever one suits your budget or your taste, etc. And just to the right there, that is where you ground your phono stage. If you didn't know what that was, you see that little cable coming out from the rear of it there, that is the grounding cable. So that connects up to your phono stage. The reason why we connect this cable is to stop and prevent buzzing and hum sounds. So as I say, that is your grounding cable. And just a little bit further along there, that's how we power the Dual. Let's say it comes with a Walmart power supply. You can upgrade that, for example, with a linear power supply if you so wish. But that is then the rear of the turntable. There we see the little feet of the turntable. And there it is from the rear. It's not going to focus because the camera can't focus on a shiny surface. As I say, that then is the rear of the dual CS-526. A very nice turntable. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a very interesting little test. We're going to take an entry-level turntable, and then we're going to take a more higher-end turntable from the same manufacturer. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a recording. We're going to use the same piece of music, and then we're going to listen back. So we're going to take the entry-level CS-440 and we're going to compare it to the CS-526 and see whether or not it is actually worth spending that extra money. That's a very good question, isn't it? Because we tend to think by spending more money, we're going to get better sound. Let's see if we can prove that, shall we? By, as I say, we're going to make a recording of the two turntables, then we can compare them. Please bear in mind, though, that they do have slightly different cartridges fitted to them. The CS-440 has got an Audio-Technica-based cartridge, while the CS-526 has the Autophone ON10. Even though they are different cartridges, they are sort of based around the sort of similar price point. So do bear that in mind. But however, it's just a little bit fun where we can compare an entry-level turntable to a high-end turntable and see how they compare sonically. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to this latest little Eden Audio presentation. Thank you very much for tuning in and stay tuned for the little test we're about to carry out. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great day and keep listening to that music.